How to Spitfire. In War Thunder Air Realistic Battle. The Supermarine Spitfire is a point-to-point fighter designed to climb to altitude quickly. The role of the Spitfire was to stop high-flying bombers coming over the English Channel and bombing Britain into surrender. When Giulio Duet saw the Spitfire fly over London for the first time, he tore up his aerial bombing thesis, proclaiming, "There is pigeon in my pasty." During World War II, the Spitfire was the main British fighter and saw combat in Europe, North Africa, Burma and the South Pacific. The Spitfire was developed continually during the war, gaining the two-stage supercharger Merlin with the Mark 9, and upgrading from the incredibly weak Browning machine guns to the weak and unreliable Hispano cannon. War Thunder has the Merlin-powered Spitfires starting with the Mark 1A and the Griffon-powered models ending with the Mark 24. The game includes the A-wing with 8 machine guns and the B-wing with Hispano cannon and Brownings. The C-wing is modeled with a mix of Hispano cannon, 50 caliber guns and Brownings. The War Thunder Air Realistic Battle meta is 1. Good climb rate to get above your opponents, 2. Good turning circle as every match degrades into a dogfight, and 3. Hard-hitting guns with plenty of rounds of ammunition. The Spitfire in War Thunder has a good climb rate, good turning circle, but is a complete and total fail when it comes to the hitting power of the Hispano cannon and enough ammunition needed to get through a full air realistic battle game without having to land. The Mark 1A and Mark 2A have 8 Browning machine guns which are good for tickling your opponents. There is 2,800 rounds though, so tickle away liberally until your opponent is tickle destroyed. The Mark 2B and VB have 2 Hispano cannon replacing 4 of the machine guns, but the cannon is only 120 rounds which last for about 3 bursts. The Mark VC has 4 Hispano cannon with 480 rounds which requires Yak 3 style shooting discipline. We hates it, we does. The Mark 9 has the Merlin 61 engine which climbs. Set your IAS to 230 km an hour and watch your team fall below you, like the tiers of a Daimler-Benz inverted V12 engine. The Griffon Spitfires in the game are adequate, they are not the Spacefires they once were. The Griffon Spits often face jets at their battle rating which can make spading them a slow process. When Winston Churchill was asked if he would prefer a Griffon Spitfire at battle rating 6.7 or a Gloucester Meteor at 7.3, Churchill replied vigorously that he wanted the F-80 Shooting Star. When Australian Spitfires faced the Japanese Zero over Darwin in 1943, they discovered that the Zero could outmaneuver their Mark VC Spitfires and their best strategy was to get above their opponent, then use boom and zoom. Before the Australian Spitfire pilots came to the South Pacific, the US Navy knew this, the US Air Force knew this, the Australian P-40 pilots knew this. Even that weird Dutch guy stuck on the island of Timor who had conversations with coconuts, knew this. Thankfully, the Australian pilots have the same mentality as a War Thunder Spitfire pilot and happily got into turning fights with the Zero. As John Thatch told his pilots, you should buy the Pacific campaign for $14.99 so you can fly the A6M5 Co in air realistic battle to learn its strengths and to quickly grind the Japanese air tree. What should your Merlin Spitfire strategy in War Thunder be against anyone but Japan? 1. Climb. 2. Dive on a target and shoot it down with all your Hispano rounds. 3. Dogfight until you run out of machine gun ammunition. 4. Then fly back to base to rearm. A good Spitfire player can shoot down 1 aircraft for each time they have to land and rearm. Under no circumstance take on bombers, unless they are the last remaining aircraft. If there is a space-climbing bomber and the team needs to bleed tickets, feel useless, as you cannot destroy pillboxes unlike your US brethren with their fancy-pantsy ground target 50 caliber belts. What should your Griffon Spitfire strategy be? Listen to Churchill. His wisdom saved Britain and won the war.